This teenager profited over £8.9 million in only a few months with this secret loophole in football betting sites. A genius betting strategy that once the bookies caught on, they tried everything to stop him, legally and monetarily. This is the full story of how 19-year-old Tom from Bristol beat the bookies for over £8.9 million by exploiting a huge loophole. Tom used to place bets in live Premier League matches that he watched with his dad, but he was constantly losing. On one night, though, everything changed. Tom was watching a game between Aston Villa and Tottenham to try and figure out some sort of edge against the betting companies. When a crunching tackle happens, the ref hasn't reached for his pocket yet, but Tom already knows it's a yellow. He's on the website, rushes to place a bet on the market of first yellow cards, and as the cursor hovers, the market suspends. Odds are gone. But in that moment, Tom thinks to himself, first, there is a moment a foul occurs. A few moments after, the betting sites suspend the markets, and the referee makes a decision to give a card or not. If I can place a bet in this gap, where I know it's going to be a yellow, then I can get rich betting on events that already happened. But there were a lot of problems, like, how can I know for sure it's going to be a yellow card? It can be just a tackle, and then the referee thinks it's not a yellow. And how can I make sure the bet is placed before the markets suspend? They are too fast at suspending the market for me to manually place the bet. But then, he had a genius idea that solved all the problems. Tom called his mate, a uni student with a talent for coding, and he proposed a plan for them to work together and get rich. Tom first asked if there is a way that he could just press a keyboard key to place a specific bet on a bookie. His mate answered him yes. He could code a bot that worked on any betting site to allow them to place a bet in a millisecond after a button press. They had to select the market, the team, and the value of the bet, and keyboard shortcut would be assigned to that bet. So if they wanted to bet on Tottenham getting the first yellow card of the game for £100 with the bot working, he only had to press, for example, T in his keyboard and the bet would be placed. They just had to have 2 keyboard shortcuts for the next card market ready for both teams. That way they remove all small delays and can place bets in the fastest possible way. Tom got very excited and that bot solved a huge problem. But that's only part 1 of the plan. For part 2, Tom would go to live stadium matches, removing all delays from streaming services. He wears a hidden earpiece and has eyes locked on the pitch, carefully watching every move, ready to announce a bet on an event that has already happened. His mate sits in his room in his computer, and with the bot ready to place a bet in a millisecond, they saved money for the ticket to test it on an Aston Villa versus Manchester United game. Together, they amounted as much money as they could. All summed out it was £280 to placing an all-in bet on the first card market. Tom, watching the game live, will call the signal A or M. A meaning yellow red card Aston Villa, and M meaning yellow red card for Man United. After Tom makes his call, his mate will click A or M on the keyboard, and the bot fires the bet instantly. With the whole plant set up, everything seems ready to rock. The game starts. Both Tom and his mate are fully focused. 20 minutes pass. There is a huge tackle by Man United. Tom yells M. His mate is sharp and presses the button instantly. It worked. The bet was placed. The market suspends immediately after. The referee pulls out the yellow card, and it lands exactly as they predicted. A surge of adrenaline hits them both. The bet came through. It worked. They realise in that instant they found a loophole, a secret edge, and for the first time, they see the path to real money. £280 turned into £610. It might not sound like much, but for them, it was everything. If it had gone wrong, the dream was dead. But it didn't. The bet landed. And the adrenaline hit them like a drug. They didn't flex to their family and friends that they had found their path to getting rich. They laid low. Tom kept going to football matches, and they ran it back again the following week. Different match, different crowd, and again, it worked. Each time, the same ritual. Tom whispering into the mic, his mate hammering the shortcut, the bot firing in a fraction of a second. Obvious cards like handballs or tackles from behind on counter-attacks were free money, and that's what they were mainly looking for. And each time it happened, and they saw the ref reach for his pocket, they felt invincible. In the space of a month, Their £280 had snowballed into over 20k, and that's when everything went wrong. You can't just hammer bookies and expect them not to notice. Their accounts started getting flagged as advantaged bettors. Stakes were very limited in their accounts and the ones they were able to create with their families and friends, and sometimes even banned outright. At this moment, they were up £20,000 but couldn't bet on any of their accounts, and to keep going, they turned to a very dark and illegal path. Tom's mate convinced Tom they should go on the dark web. He thought this plan carried very little risk. It consisted of Step 1. Buying about 10 fake IDs with the respective bank accounts associated with those people. They were ghost people that didn't exist, but hackers would illegally fabricate the IDs and open bank accounts to their names. Then they just had to open new betting accounts with their now new IDs and bank accounts. And that's exactly what they did with a new batch of accounts, and after they understood what limited the accounts they were ready to roll. They discovered that bookies would only investigate the account when they were profiting over £5,000 and 10 plus bets were made on that particular account. So on each account, they would only bet 9 times, profit as much as they could, then go on that bank account and transfer all the money to their personal accounts and never use that same account again. With their now bulletproof strategy, they were back to profit land. They kept going. For months they did this strategy and gained thousands of pounds, all to prepare for a giant final move. May 19th, 2012. Bayern Munich versus Chelsea, Champions League final. They realised the small games weren't where the money was. The biggest edges were hiding in plain sight on high-profile matches. Bookies couldn't afford to shut markets instantly because millions of fans were betting at once. The cracks were bigger, the odds higher, the delays longer. The game is about to start. Tom and his mate are dialed in and have no idea they were about to go through hell on an insanely chaotic game where if they are not careful, they can burn their entire bankroll with mistakes. So the game starts, and both teams immediately pressure relentlessly. Ashley violently tackles Cruz, making him fly to the ground. Tom yells, his mate fires a 50,000 bet. They nervously wait while the ref talks to the players. But no card was shown. First mistake, horrible start. But they doubled down, no more playing around. Tom's mate set up a 150,000 bet for a card in the first 10 minutes market. They are risking everything. Chelsea goes for a counter-attack, and this happens. Clear handball from Bastian Schweinsteiger. Tom yells B. His mate is sharp as always, and the bet comes through. £428,000. Bayern is pressing hardcore, dominating possession and every attack, relentlessly pushing towards goal. Tom noticed the ref didn't give many yellow cards, so he was more conservative in his calls. Risking no more calls and nervously waiting for an opportunity, 81st minute came. Bayern is on a dangerous counter-attack. Ashley Cole is running behind him and aggressively tackles Muller with no ball contact. Easy, 1.9 odd, almost double up for the pair. Not longer, Bayern scores. The emotions are rising. It's time for the boys to profit. David Luiz tackles, but it wasn't clear for Tom. No money made in that yellow card. 89th minute came, and Drogba equalised. With all the crazy emotions, players were way more likely to commit card fouls. Extending time starts, Drogba fouls from behind inside the box, so another £434,000 for the boys lands. Petr Cech defends the penalty. The game goes on 1-1 and ends up on penalties with a victory from Chelsea. Over all the card bets and all the accounts, they profit about £2 million of all-time profit. Tom and his mate replicated their method on other big matches, reaching the £8.94 million profit. But the edge didn't last forever. Bookies tightened live markets, reducing delays to near zero, suspending card bets instantly. But the lesson is timeless. Bookies are never perfect. Even though that loophole was gone, there are still loopholes and strategies that advantage all-time profitable bettors use today. And that's what we do full-time in the Beat the Bookies team. We study betting markets, create edges, and implement strategies that work today. And we are a long-term, profitable betting team. We are currently working on creating a group to share our tips, strategies, loopholes, and edges that make us profitable on the long term. We're going to release it in the upcoming videos.